Hi everyone, it's Broken Doll with a rope tutorial on how to make this cute decorative collar and leash pattern. This is just a rounded weave pattern with a little leash that sticks out. It is a decorative tie, it's not functional. I didn't do anything with the tie that would prevent this from tightening, the leash from tightening down or the collar from tightening up if you pulled it too hard. I did tie it with hemp from Twisted Monk, so it does have quite a bit of grip. I can pull on it without it tightening, but again, there's nothing locking it in place. So it's decorative. It is super cute. If you're interested in learning how to make this design, grab some rope and come tie with me. To start this tie, I'm going to find the super bite of the rope. And what that means is I found the bite, which is just the middle of the rope that I folded over to form a loop. I took my working ends over here and matched them up, and then I found the middle of the rope and fold that over. That's our super bite, and that's what we're going to be working with. So I'm going to put that over my head, around the back of my neck. Right now, that super bite, the middle of the rope, is at the center of the back of my neck. I'm going to be working with the bite side that's on my right. The working end is on my left. So my working end is actually going to be the bite for today's purposes. That's the side I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to want a little bit of extra rope to do the weave. So I'm going to just pull the rope down to about chest level, and then I'm just going to slide that over. So now I have a little extra rope on my working side to work with for this weave. To start the weave, I'm going to come about 3 fingers down from my clavicle. I'm going to start right about here. One thing to note about this tie is you are working in a weave, so it's going to get tighter, and we're also working towards the neck. So as you weave towards the neck, it's going to get tighter and tighter around the neck. So you want to be checking in with your rope bottom to make sure it's not too tight for them and you're not weaving it too much. To start, I'm going to take my working end, cross it over the top of the side that's going to become our leash. So we're going to go over and then around. So I'm bringing it under. And then I'm going to bring it back over itself. So this is what your tie should look like right now. You just formed a loop around what will become the leash. Then I'm going to bring that around my neck. And one thing that you should notice is that the baseline, the line that I started with, is down closer to my shoulders, and the line that we just put around the neck is up closer to my head. So we're actually working up towards our heads as we do this weave. So we're not going to start the weave just yet. For this first time around, we're going to come over both of these lines, and we're going to do this so that we can get the right pattern for the weave. Then I'm going to bring the working end under, and now we're going to start our weave on the second side, on the left hand side. So when I'm looking at my rope, I can see that my baseline here went under the last line. So we want to do the opposite in the weave. So so this line needs to go over, which means our working end is going to go under. So to do this first weave, we're going to go under, and then over, and then around our neck. So now we're ready to do the next weave, and we're actually going to start weaving over here on the first side. So as I can see, this line went over the last round, so it needs to go under. We always want to do the opposite of what we did last time. So I'm going to bring my working end. It's going to go over, then under, and then over. And then I'm going to get that rounded weave look, we're going to pull this under to the left side, I'm sorry, this is actually my right side. One thing to note here on this first time around weaving, when you come under, it's going to pull this base line under with it, but you don't want to lose that line or your weave's not going to turn out right. So just be aware that that line's going to get pulled under so you know where to find it the next time on our next round. So over here we can see our last line went over, so now it needs to go under. So I'm going to bring my working line. It's going to go over, then under, and then over this top line and around my neck. So I'm just straightening everything out. Now might be a good time to check in. I still have a lot of room, so I'm gonna keep going for probably another 2 rounds if I have enough rope for that. So as I can see, my top wrap here, just straightening out my lines a little bit. My top line here went over, so it needs to go under this time. So when I bring my working end around, it's gonna come over the first line, under the next line. And I twisted, I'm just gonna fix that. Now I know that my baseline got pulled under, so I'm gonna find that line. So now it needs to come over this line and then under my baseline, and that's gonna pull that line back out so we don't lose it. Now I'm gonna make that circular appearance. I'm just gonna pull the line under over to my right side. And here's my baseline. I can see that last time it went under, so this time it needs to go over. That means I'm gonna take my working end, I'm gonna go under, then over this line, which means I'm gonna go under this line. So here I'm gonna bring my working end over and then under, and then I'm gonna come over my top line and around my neck. I'm getting pretty snug. I can still get a couple of fingers under. This would be a good time to check with your rope bottom to see their comfort level. Some people might want to stop here. I'm gonna go around just one more time, show you guys one more time, and then we will tuck the ends in. So here, my last line went over, which means now it needs to go under. So I'm gonna bring my working end, I'm gonna go over and then under. Also be aware that when you're pulling your weave through, you are pulling it against your bottom's neck. So I'm doing it on myself, so I know my comfort level. It might be a good idea to tuck your finger in there to hold it away as you're pulling that tight. Just make sure it's not getting too tight on your rope bottom. So I just went over and then under. I went under one line too far, so I'm just gonna fix that. There we go. So I went over this one, under. Now I'm going to come over and then under. So over and under. I'm going to bring my working end under. And then here, I'm going to come, you can see my baseline went on, this last time it went over, so this time it needs to come under. So my working end is going to go over this first line, under my second line up. Then I'm going to go over the next line, under the line after that, and then over my top line. I just have a little bit of rope here. This is actually probably the perfect amount. I'm gonna bring it around back, and I just have a little bit here. So all I'm gonna do is just tuck that down in the back, so it looks like that. So just be aware, again, as I was tucking that line in, I was pulling the rope away from my neck, which was also pulling on the front of my neck. So just be aware, again, that you're pulling on someone's neck. So make sure that you're not pulling too far. Maybe get a finger in there to make sure that you are not pulling too tight against the neck. This is the finished tie. I'm using hemp rope, which means it does have a bit of grip here, but there is not anything securing my leash or preventing it from, if you pull too hard, it will tighten down. So again, this is decorative. It is a cute little decorative collar and leash, but again, don't use it to pull someone by or try and secure them by their neck, because it can tighten around their neck. So if you like this tie, please give my video a thumbs up, and I hope that you try it out and have fun tying.